What's up, YouTube family? Today I'm going to be talking about the different types of chisels used when doing lathe work. So the most basic lathe chisel is the spindle roughing gouge, and it has a chute here, and it's primarily designed to turn a square blank into a round shape. And you can get pretty detailed and pretty smoothed out and pretty decent finish just with using the rough spindle gouge here. So that's what that is, and a lot of chisel sets have different sizes. So I have a large one, a medium-sized one here, and then a small one. These can also be called shallow or deep fluted gouges. They're just designed, for example, I usually make pins, and so I don't really normally have a need for a spindle gouge this big. So I just use a medium-sized one or even a small one. And obviously the walls on this one are a little bit higher on the bigger one, so you can take more off if you're doing a big cube or rectangular prism, if you will, turning it into a cylinder, as compared to the small ones. The next one to talk about is the parting tool. It looks like this. It just comes up to a point, and then the thickness of the tool there. So the clue for that is in the name. It's a parting tool. It's designed to part wood. Now, I don't recommend parting a wood completely on the lathe because obviously when your project is on the lathe, your blank is on the lathe, it's going at X amount of RPMs, whatever your lathe is set to. If you part that in half, that wood is still going. So what's in motion stays in motion, right? So if you're not careful, it could spin halfway across your shop. You're having to chase wood across the floor in the midst of sawdust and everything else. What it is good for, though, is creating a channel or a little groove in the wood that then you can grab another tool and kind of round out to make a nook or a bow or whatever you're trying to make. So that's a parting tool. It does really good for creating that little niche, getting a good starting point that then you can go use another type tool to make whatever you're trying to do. It can be used sideways, so like this on the lathe, and it can actually be used upright like this. Primarily used like this, but you can also use it like that to create a little V-shaped indention into your wood. The next tool to talk about is a scraper, which it sort of looks like a rough and gouge, but it doesn't have the channel in the middle. It's designed to smooth things out, scrape away any excess, stuff like that. It's also, I've heard some people refer to it as a fingernail tool, fingernail scraper. I've never used this ever, so I'm sure it's useful and it's efficient to use it in the right context, but I've never used it, but that's what that is. The next tool to talk about is a skew chisel, a skew tool. It's kind of, from this angle, might look a little bit like the parting tool, but it's designed to put finishing touches after you've roughed down your project. So if you're able to use the skew tool correctly, you can actually get a pretty decent finish on the project before you ever need to break out sandpaper. The skew tool is designed to get all those lines from your roughing gouge smoothed out to one solid wood blank. So I have a smaller one here, and I actually have a larger skew chisel here that can be used on bigger projects. So that's a skew. The last tool to talk about is a parting tool scraper. So it has the, I guess you could say, the depth of a scraper, the way it's shaped, but then the tip of it is a parting tool. I don't know the technical name for this. I've never used this either. Feel free to mess around though and try out different tools, different methods of using those tools. The last chisel I have laying here is actually one that I bought separate from this set. So I actually use Harbor Freight chisels. I'm not ashamed to say it. They've been working great so far, so we'll see how long they last. The last chisel I have here is a carbide tip chisel. It's by Benjamin Best, which is not name brand, high dollar or anything, but it is a good chisel. So the carbide tip portion of it, there's actually an Allen wrench set screw here that I can interchange out the tip of the chisel and put different types. So I have like a scraper type point on it now, but I could put the parting tool attachment or whatever. But carbide tip is a must-have if you're going to be turning wood that is really hard wood, or if you're going to be turning acrylic. So I make a lot of acrylic pens, and when you go to turn down the acrylic pen blanks, it really beats up your chisels. So getting a carbide tip chisel is a must-have for doing that, and also super hard wood, because some of this wood is so hard, and depending on how long it's been drying, it can actually take a lot of effort with a regular wood chisel, where a carbide tip chisel will just cut through it like hot butter. So it is a must-have. I believe that's all for this video. If you have any corrections to stuff that I might have said wrong, leave it down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, be sure to smash that like button and hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all the new videos I publish. I guess that's about it, guys. So thanks for watching, and you can find me online at www.meetnickharrison.com. I hope to make another video soon. Take care.